Community Day, and I hope you guys enjoy it because we do things on campus, and I want to welcome Aurora High School is here, so I'm so happy that the teacher take part and bring the students here from Ponte, so that was really exciting. So thank you and have a good day.
So let's get on with this event here. So this event came out of the idea with some students. The initial idea was because what does the term Latino mean? There's a lot of miseducation out there, and I asked Dr. Murillo to speak on this topic, and let's get into his history.
Okay, thank you. Finally! Thank you, Jimmy, for the invitation. And I think I truly am honored because we connected really well. Jimmy's been to my home at least on one occasion. We were fortunate enough. We celebrated in I have a sweat lodge in my backyard. I've worked for a lot of years as Native American chaplain, going into the prisons, and I guess probably since '83 I've been doing this for maybe 30 or more years. And anyways, I have a lot of titles, but you know, titles is part of the white man's scrapbook, for lack of a better term, right? We all know that when it comes to the real deal, we're at the root, we're about serving our community. And so I believe wholeheartedly that, you know, titles are great, and they've served my purpose, my career, but at the heart of this is really community and being of service to others, right? Which is, I guess, the greatest joy that any one of us could experience. Raza, Latinos, Chicanos, Mexicanos, we are native to this continent. We're not immigrants at all, although sometimes we use the discourse of immigration because it's part of the discourse, the political discourse that we need to engage in. But we're really not immigrants at all. We are the native peoples. If anything, we're migrants, and so we've always migrated back and forth for thousands of years, and in our oral histories, we know that as Mexicanos, Chicanos, we came here from these lands. These are the origins of our land, and we migrated south and back to north and back to south over thousands of years, and so it's only been in the last hundreds of years that we're back doing our migration again here to the north. But we're not foreigners. We didn't have to cross an ocean to get here, nothing like that. We're, as far as I'm concerned, we're as native as that tree out there. So that's the approach that I'm coming here today with. You bear with me. Yemaya sesu, asesu yemaya.
The first settlement, and the one thing you know is they were slaves? How disrespectful to an entire race of people. You know one thing about them, that they were slaves. You don't know anything else except they were slaves? Native American people. 60,000 years we're here. And what do you know? Morongo has a good buffet, dude. That's all you know? You know that Indians have a good fucking buffet? You don't know nothing about their history? You don't know nothing about who the people were? Mexicanos, Latinos have been here for hundreds of years, and what do you know? Meatlas? That's all you know? Come on, man, educate yourself. Women have been a part of this world, well, since the first baby. And you don't know shit about women? Educate yourself. And that's a good way to do it, through an ethnic study, not as a side thing, but as a main. We should have that incorporated. Otherwise, as Joe just said, it's perceived as if it's an outsider's stuff. We're not outsiders. We're a part of this society. We're a part of this world. We're a part of this culture. We should not see ours as a separate. It should be inclusive, and they should have to study us the same way we've studied them. And have understanding tests on that and all kinds of stuff. I see time for one more question. I see my honorable colleague, Dr. Daniel Walker. We will be in classes together tearing it up, so I'm going to turn it over to him. Thank you all for your time.
Dr. Walker.
All right, so I'm going to move from behind there because that's not going to work for me and come out here. First off, I want to thank Jimmy for taking the initiative to put this whole thing together. Yeah. So everybody want to give him a hand. And at the same time, are there other members of the committee that put this to other people? I know this. Who are the people who all, what's your crew? Tell me who. BSU. BSU, where are the members at right now? Where are the people? BSU. There we go. Let me see. There you go. Lots of times, you know, people can desire to do something for African American History Month, and many times it's the same old stuff. And as a person who's a professor, you can imagine it gets tired to me too, because I'm going to the same stuff, right? Or people are asking me to speak about the same thing. And many times we're staying in the past too long to not really deal with the present and future. So we're going to get in the past today. We're going to talk about history, but we're doing it as a prescriptive exercise. To see something in the past that we can then figure out that maybe we could use in the present and in the future, okay? Is that cool? Now, once again, I know you guys been here a while, you can loosen up. I'm gonna do a few crazy things up in here, I guess. I'll start with this, and hopefully I get this thing right, you guys. So, the premise of this talk is that there is a historical model of Black and Latino unity that can be prescriptive for present and future action. There's a historic model of Black and Latino unity that can be prescriptive for present and future action, advocacy, whatever you want to call it, okay? So we'll start with this thing, all right? So this is a picture of a guy named Father Miguel Hidalgo. And Father Miguel Hidalgo is, did you guys already get on this? No. All right. So and I know we have some other people, and I know, you know, me and Ed, we vibe in the same world, so a lot of the things may come out the same way. We just look different. You know, he got more hair than I do. But they're both turning gray, brother.
Don't worry about it. Hey, don't worry about it.
My daughter said I have an airplane strip going through the top of my head. So let me get back a little bit. So let's start with Mexico, and I want to start there because one, it's close, it's right down the street, that's right. And where we're living, like the area that we live in right now, was formerly Mexico. So just take backwards a little bit, go deep back. So the Americas, in the way that we see it today, and what I mean by that is once European colonization comes in, was this ultimate demographic experiment where you had an indigenous population of millions and millions of people, especially concentrated in the Valley of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, throughout Central America, and then the Andean region and in the upper part of South America, of all these very advanced Indian societies and civilizations. You had that thing there, and then you had this interesting thing from Europe, which was these European ideas, values, beliefs, primarily in Latin America, bringing both the Spanish language and the Catholic Church into that mix. And at the same time, you had this massive importation forced of millions and millions of people of African descent into those same spaces. And somebody mixed all that stuff up, and it came out to be what we call the Americas. And that's from Alaska to Argentina, California to the Caribbean. That different places and different spaces will find different mixes of those three dynamic racial groupings and whatever else. But that's the stuff that we start with. And in the middle of the 1800s, you could throw in a huge population, millions of Chinese immigrants into that thing too. So at its nature, it is a real melting pot. Much more so, especially Latin America, than America in terms of the melting part. Americans tend to be like sitting in the salad bowl by itself, you know, like the olive is sitting over here and the tomato is over here and some lettuce is sitting over here. But in Latin America, in many, many places, that stuff got mixed on up even more so than it would be in America. And prior to this time period, we're going to be talking about the early 1800s, the unifying dynamic of this was oppression. European oppression of black and brown people for the express purpose of labor extraction.
In search of brighter days, I ride through the maze of the madness. Struggle is my address where pain and crack lives. Gunshots coming from sounds of blackness. Given this game with no time to practice. Born on the blacklist, told I'm below average. A life with no cabbage. That's no money if you from where I'm from. Funny, I just want some of your son. Dark clouds seem to follow me. Alcohol that my pop swallowed bottle me. No apology, I walk with a bolt on my shoulder. It's a cold war, I'm a colder soldier. Hold the same fight that made Martin Luther the king.